Yes, it is likely that many of you, like Michael, have already started your Labor Day weekends, maybe with one last vacation, capping off what's been a chaotic summer for millions traveling across the country. A third of Americans are expected to do some kind of traveling this Labor Day weekend. Most will be driving now that gas prices have dropped a bit. The national average for a gallon of gas is $3.82 a gallon. That is down 40 cents in a month. Locally, prices are also dropping, but we're far from sub $4 totals. Joining us live tonight is Elizabeth Carey with AAA. As always, we're glad to have you here. We love having you, especially when we need travel tips. So what tips can you offer with so many people planning to drive for maybe the 3-day weekend, or even planning to spend the week in LA, for example, for the Bills game next week, driving or flying?
Yeah, there's definitely a mix going on. This Labor Day weekend, AAA expects domestic travel to be up 22% compared to last year, and international travel, people traveling internationally now, the number's up over 100% compared to last year, since a lot of places have opened up and changed the requirements as far as vaccinations and getting tested. So we do expect it to be very busy on the roads and also in the airports too.
I want to chat with you a little bit about gas prices because they're certainly better than they were, but they're still a little high. How much did that impact overall travel this summer, and then what's it look like for the weekend?
Yeah, so people feel that gas prices are still too high, even though they've come down a little bit, according to AAA research. So we're still paying more than $4 a gallon in the Buffalo area. And, research has shown with the consumer research AAA does, people don't want to pay that much, and they feel that that's overpriced for gasoline. However, when it comes to travel, a lot of people this summer said, you know what, there's a pent-up demand for travel. We want to get out there. We didn't get to go a lot of places throughout the pandemic. So we're not going to skip the trip. We'll spend the gasoline on that vacation, but we might modify our daily routines as far as trying to work from home or combining errands into one trip just to make up for the high gas prices. But now with them coming down a little bit, the national average, like you said, under $4 a gallon, we're just over $4. It kind of makes you feel like you're getting a bit of a bargain compared to the $5 prices that we had. So more people are saying, we want to head to the Finger Lakes and the Adirondacks, at least for a long weekend, to get out and about this weekend.
Well, yeah, because like you said, this really is the first summer that's been kind of a real summer in a long time for people. And of course, now we're looking ahead to what comes next. And of course, people are always wondering, when is it going to get better? What can we expect here in Western New York for the rest of the year, especially when we look elsewhere in the country where their gas prices are getting down to around the $3 mark?
Yeah, so what happened is places down south, like Texas, and where there's a lot of refineries, and also the Midwest and South, where kids went back to school already, we saw that summer travel come to a halt and gas prices come down because demand came down. But here in Western New York, most of the schools go back next week after Labor Day. So that extends our summer travel season, so our prices stayed up a little bit. And we also have to factor in delivery costs to get the gasoline up here, since there's no refinery in New York State. But we should be getting more of a break next week as long as these oil prices stay down. They're right now between $87 and $93 a barrel or so, and they were well over $120 a barrel just weeks ago. So oil prices have come down. That's brought these gas prices down. Once we get through this Labor Day and demand tapers off even a little bit more, we should see a bit more of a break at the pump, as long as there's no hurricane situation that might take out a refinery down south. Then we would see prices increase for sure.
Right, and certainly we're getting right into that season, so that's always a concern this time of year. I want to kind of take us back really before summer started, and we were talking about what to expect for summer. Any surprises this summer, or was it about what AAA anticipated?
Well, one of the big surprises was that huge jump in international travel. And that happened instantaneously when they changed some of the rules as far as the vaccinations and the testing requirements. For it to be up 100% compared to last year, that was a pretty surprising number. And one of the other surprising factors, if we look at the top domestic destinations for people flying to their destinations, Orlando is almost always number one, no matter what the occasion is. But this year, it's actually Seattle, Washington. And that's because so many people are still taking these Alaskan cruises, because the Alaskan cruise season didn't happen for a long time during the pandemic. So a lot of people have those booked, and we're seeing people booking those even into 2024 right now.
It really is interesting. Just the demand for travel does not seem to be letting up in any way, no matter what the cost. Even though we've seen so much trouble as far as air travel, it's just been a mess, but people are still traveling.
Yeah, they still think it's worth the risk. And, you mentioned the air travel. So there's been a lot of disruptions and cancellations. So that could happen depending on the weather this weekend. Like if something bad happens with the weather or staffing concerns, that could send a ripple effect through the airline industry. So it's best if you take a carry-on bag. That way, if your flight gets switched, you don't have to worry about losing your luggage. And make sure you have the airline's app so you can get the most up-to-date information about your flight. And that's how you'll find out if your flight's delayed or canceled immediately. And that's going to be your first line of defense in trying to change your plans and get to where you want to go.
And just quickly, Elizabeth, what about planning trips for the future? What's the best way to go?
Yeah, right now we're seeing a little bit of a break in air prices. Like air and car prices are up about 30% in the past 2 years, but hotel prices are up about 50% in that time. So the best bet is to really work with a travel consultant to see what deals you can get that are out there and see what you can bundle for the best price as well. And we're seeing a lot of people looking for those deals, and there's been a lot of them, especially with cruises. They have everything on sale right now.
Certainly time to start enjoying the weekend. Elizabeth Carey, we're going to let you do exactly that. We have been chatting with Elizabeth Carey from AAA. Thanks again for joining us.
Oh, safe travels, everyone.